is Jasmine Sky, and I'm here today with a really exciting video. This is my first vlog on my new AuthorTube channel, and it's going to be a revision vlog, a draft 4 revision vlog for my YA fantasy novel, which is currently called The Bone Forest. I was kind of inspired by Christine's draft 4 revision vlog for her second novel that she's currently working on, so I'm gonna leave that down below because, I don't know, I watched that and it made me want to do a revision vlog, and I'm gonna kind of try to do the same thing she did. The thing about drafting vlogs is it's super easy to kind of have a sense of progress because you just use your word count as your sense of progress, but I didn't really know how to do that with a revision vlog, specifically a revision vlog like this for this draft 4 revision, which isn't really word count focused at all. My word count is actually pretty perfect for a YA fantasy novel. I'm at like 95,000 words right now. I'll put the exact word count up on the screen right here. So that's where I'm starting, and then we'll see after my revision the exact word count I end at, but I really hope it's not gonna be that far off this number, 95,000, because that's like a perfect amount to try to go on sub with for YA fantasy. So yeah, so I didn't know how to do a progression in a revision vlog until I watched Christine's revision vlog, wherein she did it just by like page count and the chapters as she was revising them, which I was like, oh, brilliant, easy, I can do that. And I really wanted to do a revision vlog to talk about my process of working through my revision notes, because if you haven't seen, I have an agent now, which is just so exciting, and I have a whole video about how I got my agent. I'll link that down below so you can see that journey and celebrate with me, I guess. But yeah, so you know, when Mary, my agent, when she made the offer on August 4th, she gave me a lot of revision notes. I wrote them all down here as I was on the phone with her, and then over the next 10 days that I was waiting to hear back from other agents and stuff, I was letting her notes sort of percolate, and I was writing down questions that I had that I might want to clarify with her and things like that. And then this Friday, August 14th, when I officially signed with her, we talked on the phone again. I asked her some of my questions. We talked a little more in detail about some of the revision that hadn't really been talked in detail previously, and it was great, and it really, you know, clarified it for me. I've been working on sort of a re-outline, a sort of basic synopsis of this first novel, fixing it up with what I think I'm gonna revise, and then also outlining the rest of the series, because hopefully we'll be able to sell this as a series. It may not happen, it may not sell at all, but Mary agrees with me that it really should be a series. Like it's designed to be the first, right now it's designed to be the first of a trilogy. If I sold it and the publisher only wanted a duology, I have an idea for how I would make it a duology, so I'm not completely against it, but my outline for this series right now is as a trilogy, and I'm very excited about it as a trilogy. So we'll see what happens. That's in the future. First things first, I have to revise it with Mary's notes so that, you know, she can read it and we can see, you know, if we're gonna go on sub with it and things like that. Today is Sunday the 16th, and I have until Monday, September 7th, which is Labor Day, which I have off from work because it's Labor Day. So I have all day Monday, all the way from today, Sunday, for 3 weeks, plus 1 day, which will be Monday the 7th, to do this revision. I think it's very doable. I'm pretty fast when I get into things, and like honestly, I drafted the first draft of this book in like 5 weeks, and the second draft in like 4 weeks, and I did the third draft in 2 weeks. So like I'm not that worried about not making deadline with this, and honestly, I might even finish faster. It really kind of depends on how stopped up I get at parts of this or how stressful it is, but I'm really hoping that I can finish sort of the big meat of the revision like maybe in 2 weeks, and then have a week to sit on it, read it through again, do some more polishing, do things like, you know, make sure that I haven't used a lot of filler words and things like that. So that is the plan right now. We'll see how it changes over the next 3 weeks, because who knows? I make plans all the time and my plans almost never, stick the landing. So we'll see what happens. I'm sitting at my desk now. I have moved my desk out into the living room when COVID started so that I could have like plenty of natural light and stuff like that. But because of that, you can see our kitchen table, which is currently taken up by a board game, and my board game shelves, and the kitchen's in the background, and like, it's fine. This is probably where I'm going to be doing the majority of my clips, because I will be sitting here at this desk while I do this revision. So one of the things that Mary requested for this revision is that I do it in Word and do track changes. Typically I write with Dabble, which is my favorite program. It works a lot like Scrivener, for those of you who enjoy Scrivener, but Scrivener was originally designed for screenwriters and Dabble was specifically designed for authors, and I just really like the functionality of Dabble. I used Scrivener for about a year and then I gave Dabble a try for the free trial and I was hooked. I love it. I really, really love it. But for this revision, I have to use Word, which is fine. One of the things that's great about Dabble when I'm doing those early drafts is that it has all of my character sheets and all of my plot outlines and everything like in the sidebar. So it's really easy to like look at my world building notes and things like that. But at this point, draft 4 of this novel, I know these characters. I know these characters, I know the plot, I know the changes. Like the changes I'm gonna make, I have physically written in this notebook, which I showed you earlier. And it's a mess, but like it's in my head. Like it's not so much information that I can't just keep it in my head. And of course, when I finish the revision, I'll have to go back through all of those notes and make sure I've checked all of it. But I'm just not that worried about it. And I'm glad that's the case. It might be very different if in the future I'm expected to make changes, track changes with Word for, early revisions, but with this, I think it is going to be fine. So I have it up on a Word document. It's actually the Word document that I use to, as the full request that I sent off to Mary and the other agents that asked for my full, but I've changed the title so it says, I'll show you. So here we go. We have The Bone Forest by Jasmine Sky. This is because this was the same document that I used to send off my full request. It had, the approximate word count up at the top, but my actual word count, as you can see down here, is 95,733 words, and then it's 311 pages, and of course this is my new title, so I already went ahead and changed this before I turned on track changes, but yeah, now I have to go and start doing the revision with chapter 1. So my book has 21 chapters, and as you saw, 311 pages so far. So I am going to basically keep track, like Christine did, by page count and by chapters, and we'll see how it goes. So yeah, I'm pretty excited. I don't expect the chapter count to change at all based on the outline. It should stay at 21 chapters. I might change scenes around a little bit within the chapters, but plot-wise, I don't have that many revisions. The revisions are really more world-based revisions, and a little bit about sort of fixing up the end of my main character's arc, to kind of make that ending stronger. So yeah, it shouldn't, hopefully, my word count, page count, chapter count should not change significantly or at all in the course of this revision. That is the hope. It's later in the afternoon and I finished revising chapter 1. I really didn't have that much that I needed to do with chapter 1. It was just small stuff. But the other thing that I did was I rewrote my revision notes because my previous mess was a mess. I mean, you can visibly see it. This is what I had. and this is how it was rewritten. So yeah, it's more organized now, sort of in order of like when things are gonna come up. As I was writing some of the stuff down, I was having ideas for how I would fix some of the scenes, so that was really good, and I'm just feeling just so ready to do this revision. Like it just feels like I have a perfect idea of what needs to happen and what I need to do, and it's just gonna take time to just put it all into the book. It's now the evening of Sunday, and I just finished revising through chapter 2. So I am on page 31 of 311. I am 10% done with my revision, which is great. That's a great start for day 1, and I will pick up with chapter 3 tomorrow. This is what being a snake owner is like. You try to brush your hair, and it's yeah, that's not gonna work so well, is it? I am halfway through chapter 4. I'm on page 42 of now 312 pages, so I ended up adding a little bit of words. I'm at 96,199 words, so not too many words, but enough to raise a page count, I guess. I am remembering how much I love this novel. It's, you know, I was feeling down about it, as I said in my how I got my literary agent video. At the time that I, you know, got the call from Mary, I was ready to give up on this novel and, you know, move on to the next thing, and I was just feeling, you know, feeling like YA fantasy wasn't for me, I guess. But reading it again now, it's so nice having the distance. The last time I read this novel was in May, whenever I did my draft 3 revision. So it's been, what, mid-May to mid-August is 3 months. And that distance really helps when it comes to rereading your stories and being able to sort of step back and see them a little bit more objectively. And obviously, like, I wrote this, I came up with the idea, I, you know, did multiple drafts on it, so the idea itself and the characters and the story and my writing are all things that I want to read, because I try not to write things that I myself, you know, wouldn't want to just pick up on the shelf if someone else had written it. And rereading it with this distance while I'm doing this revision has just reminded me how much I love it and how excited I am to potentially have this book go out to the world. Hello. I just watched Lizelle Sambury's newest video, which was on the author-agent relationship, and I found it a really good resource, especially as someone who just got an agent. So I'm going to link that down below for those of you who are interested in what she has to say. She's been with her agent for 2 years, which is significantly longer, of course, than I've been with my agent. So yeah, I thought that was a useful resource. But anyway, I am not my most focused self today. I spent a while watching the hockey game. I'm a huge Dallas Stars fan, so I was watching the hockey game, and I've been reading, and I'm just very distracted tonight. So I'm gonna finish chapter 4 because I'm like halfway through it. Progress. I am on chapter 6 now. So I did a chapter and a half, but I'm gonna stop there for the night and keep going tomorrow. It's quite late, like 10:30, but I just did 2 more chapters, and as you can see, I am like a third of the way through this book. I actually just finished chapter 7 of 21, so yeah, third of the way, and I did end up adding some pages, I guess. So, you know, that's good, but not too many words. So we're still okay. This is still okay. This, as long as I don't go too much more. But I'm gonna leave that there and go to bed and keep going in the morning with part 2 of 3, I guess. How are you? It's almost 5 p.m. on Thursday. I am going to virtually attend one of the launch events for Rewrote by Jordan Ifweko and Angie Thomas. She's in conversation with Angie Thomas. Angie Thomas didn't help write Rewrote. Tonight at 5, so just in like 15 minutes. So that's really exciting. And then this evening I have a call with a friend, and then I want to watch the hockey game because it's the playoffs right now, so I'm gonna be pretty busy. I went ahead and did my writing for the day. I actually did about half of it this morning when I woke up because I was inspired, like right when I woke up, mostly because I realized that I needed to change a character's name and background because of some of the stuff that I was changing with my world building for this draft. The character's background that I had created just didn't make sense anymore. So I changed that, and I had to go through, you know, find and replace and change it all. So that happened. And then also just like change the initial introduction of that character. So anyway, that inspired me. And then in the course of doing that, I ended up doing like half a chapter this morning. And then just now I just did another at the end of that chapter. And then another chapter after that. So I am on chapter 10 now. I am almost halfway done in terms of, you know, the book. I mean, I guess I'm only at page 139 of 315. It's not quite half in terms of page count, even though it's close-ish to half. I guess 11, halfway through chapter 11 would be halfway. I'm at 96,900 words. I'm creeping up towards 97,000, but the sort of real changes are going to be coming in the last third of the book, and we'll see what happens with my page count and my word count when we get to that. So right now everything is going smooth, like I said.
I'm excited for things like Black Panther. Not just because it opens, it kind of provides a sense of hope, like that's what Afrofuturism is, right? It's like giving Africa the dignity and Black people the dignity of a richly imagined future, but also because I think it just expands the imagination of people, you know? Like, unless you think Black people are inherently inferior, this could have been a reality, you know, a place like this beautiful and this intricate, and it in fact did exist without vibranium, but it was there. You know.
Well, hey, it is Saturday, so for those of you who are keeping track, I skipped a day because yesterday I was not feeling great. So yeah, I took half a day off work and I slept all afternoon, and then I went to bed. And then I slept in, and it was just a fun day. Hi. Yes, you're very cute. Yes, you're very cute. Anyway, so I am here now at 11:30 on Saturday morning, and I put on makeup because I'm gonna film a couple videos for my channel. I think I'm gonna film 2 videos today so that I have them filmed and ready, and then I can edit them as I please. And then this afternoon, at some point, this afternoon or evening, I have to, you know, do my writing for the day. But I'm not too, I think skipping a day is not going to be a big deal in the end, so I'm not that worried about it. And that's that. I'm watching a hockey game. This is a commercial for the hockey game, not the hockey game. First period just ended. We're up 3-1, which is exciting. And now I have the intermission to work on my book because I've been lazy today. So let's see how far I can get in the intermission between periods 1 and 2. And then again in the intermissions between period 2 and 3. And I will check in when the game, yes. Okay, we're gonna call it quits there for the day. My word count is inching up, as you can see, which isn't great, and I'm now at 316 total pages. So, you know, hopefully I don't add too much more But I'm more than halfway done for sure now. I'm on chapter 12, which is exciting. And tomorrow I can hopefully get another couple chapters done and go from there. Hi there. It is Monday. I didn't update you yesterday because I didn't. But I did, in fact, write or revise. I did one chapter yesterday, so I'm now on chapter 13 of 21, and that is page 186 of 316. Still in 97,000 right now. You know, we'll see what happens as we keep going. I'm definitely feeling the need to like finish this first passive revision and then go back and read it all again, because I'm making a lot of just little changes and I really want to reread it and make sure that none of those little changes messed up the flow, or that I like repeated things because I thought I hadn't said it but I had said it before, or things like that. So also, it's going to be very important to do that reread once I get to the last act, the last third of the book, because I have some larger changes coming up then. But for now, we're still solidly in Act 2. I did it. That was so successful. I like flew through those 3 chapters. I'm now on chapter 16, page 234 of 317. My word count now is 97,694 words, so we're still under 98K. This next chapter is the end of this next chapter is another place that I need to make a fairly significant change. And it's the one that I do not know what I'm going to do. Like everything else, there's some decently sized changes coming at the end of the book, as I've talked about. In the climax and the resolution, I have some big changes happening then. But I know exactly what I'm doing for all of those changes. I have a really clear picture in my mind. This is the one part that I do not know how I'm going to fix it. So that's great. So I'm gonna have to figure that out. But I did 3 chapters today, so we're gonna call it good for now, and we'll figure that out tomorrow, and I'll let you know. It is Wednesday evening, and I just finished working on 2 chapters. I didn't write yesterday, which is why I didn't update, but I talked it out with one of my best friends and critique partners yesterday, and figured it out, and I just like kind of let it ruminate all day and tried to figure out how it would work sort of in the text. And then today I actually did the change, and that was at the end of chapter 16. And then I just went through chapter 17, which didn't really need much change at all. And now I'm at the beginning of chapter 18, and I think I'm going to leave that for tomorrow, because we are now at the point where there's significant changes that I need to make to the end of this story. Like, things need to be rearranged, I need to rewrite some scenes. Pretty much from 18 through 21, the last, 4 chapters, 18, 19, 20, 21, they all have significant changes to come. It's been a few days. It is Sunday, because I was not productive the last couple days, but that's okay because we pushed through, and now we're here, and I just finished chapter 18, and I added words, which is a problem. I am up to 99,600 words total. I'm on page 283 of 323, so I'm almost at the end, which is exciting. But this chapter kind of ballooned on me. It's literally 1,000 words over what every other chapter is, which is a problem. So I think I want to put the last scene I just wrote of this chapter at the beginning of the next chapter instead. I'm almost at 100,000 words total, and I'm so scared that I'm going to end up over 100,000 words. So I have about an hour until I'm heading over to my dad's house, so I'm gonna try to do the next chapter and kind of rearrange, you know, maybe try to even the length of the chapters up a little bit and see how that works with the flow. I might just do it, and then when I reread the book, then I can like see how it goes. Did it. Very exciting. Had to add a little bit more words, but it wasn't very much. It was just kind of to smooth out some of the transitions, because I did end up moving the last scene of the previous chapter into that chapter, but I think it's okay, and it evened up the word count a lot, which I think will really help with the chapter pacing, but we'll see when I reread it if I agree with that. But yeah, I'm at 298 of 324 pages now. I have 99,739 words is the total word count. And again, you know, I have 2 chapters left. I'm on chapter 20 now. And yeah, these last 2 chapters have some significant rewrites to be done. I think the entire second half of chapter 20 and the first half of chapter 21, actually almost all of chapter 21 is going to get rewritten. I'm going to keep some like bits of scenes, but the like overall sort of plot behind chapter 21, the sort of resolution chapter, the last chapter, I reconsidered what it was going to be with this sort of new revision and outline, and yeah, that needs to change. And part of why that needs to change is because of what is changing in the second half of chapter 20, and also what changed earlier, some of the things that I sort of redid with the plot, this revision. So, oh no. Should I put you there? That works. We'll go with that. It's not the best angle, but we're gonna go with it. It's Monday evening, 7:33 p.m. to be exact, and I have gone through the first half of chapter 20, which is my second to last chapter. Did a little bit of, you know, massaging of words and things, and I added like a small little couple lines that I wanted to add for the world building. So that's good. First half of the chapter is done. But now it's like, you know, climactic, crazy final fight and stuff. And I'm kind of stuck. The order in which things happen have different connotations for the relationship between my protagonist and the love interest. And yet also the order things happen, like if I go with the order that's best for the relationship, it's also the order that is least logical for the other part of the plot. So do I go with the order that's not as good, makes the relationship maybe a little bit more problematic, because then the plot will flow better? I don't know. I don't know what I want to do. Hello there. It is Thursday evening. Got another couple days of, skipped another couple days, but I was trying to figure out what to do about these last 2 chapters, as I talked about last time, and I did it. I figured it out. I have finished chapter 20. My second to last chapter is done, and the way I rearranged it, I'm happy with it. I think it's good, very climactic, final fight nonsense, right? So my current word count is 98,718 words, so I have about 1,300 words that I can, you know, add to the final chapter, which we'll get into that in a second. I'm on the first page of the final chapter. I'm on page 313 of 322. I ended up moving the first scene of the final chapter into the second to last chapter because it just was better for the flow. And now I need to add stuff to the final chapter because it's only about like half the size of a normal chapter right now, and it needs all of that resolution and everything. I am going to work on this final chapter right now, and if it really flows, I might finish it today, which would be great because then I can take Friday, Saturday, Sunday off and then reread it on Monday and send it off. I did it. I finished the last chapter. I'm so excited. It actually ended up being shorter. It's kind of nice and cyclical because my first chapter is a bit shorter than my other chapters, and my last chapter is now the same length as my first chapter. It might expand out in, later revisions maybe, but right now it feels like I got everything I wanted written done. But I ended up staying under 100K, which I like. So my final word count is 99,642 words and 324 pages. And I did it. I wrote like 3,000 new words today, and then also like fixed up the second half of this chapter and the first half of the last chapter. So that was a lot of work today, but it feels good. There we go. Hello there. It is Monday, Labor Day here in the United States, and I have eaten lunch and I'm sitting down here and I am going to reread my entire novel, clean up whatever I need to clean up, and see what my ending word and page count is and send it off to my agent. I finished draft 4 of my book, The Bone Forest. I'm very excited. I'm gonna put the camera down again because it's easier if I'm just talking like this. So yes, oh man, that's so exciting to be done. It feels great. The book flows well. The plot makes sense. The characters are good. Like the relationship is good. I'm sure obviously I might have more edits in the future. Hopefully my agent was hoping that this would be the only big revision we would have to do. But once we go on sub, if I do get an editor, fingers crossed, then I would have more revisions then. Or if we don't get an editor in the first couple rounds, maybe I would do another revision with my agent and then do more submission. We'll see what happens, but for now it feels really clean. Like this is the cleanest book I have ever written, if that makes sense. Like everything just flows into itself so well, and this revision really cinched it. Like the previous draft was good, it got me an agent, so obviously it wasn't bad, and I really liked it, but everything that I changed for this draft just feels so much better and so exciting and so polished, and I'm just really happy about it. Final stats. We started at 95,737 words and ended at 99,856 words. So I added just over 4,000 words to the draft in order to flesh out some of the world building and the plot points. So that wasn't so bad. We did end at under 100K, which makes me feel so good. So glad that I didn't have to figure out where to cut. And page count wise, the original draft was 311 pages and the final draft is 327 pages. So, that fits the 4,000 words I added. We also added some pages, but again, 327 pages is fine. It's good. It's a good number for a YA fantasy novel, and I'm feeling good about it. Chapters did not change in terms of the chapter count. There was 21 chapters, and there is still 21 chapters. The scenes and some of the ordering of some of the chapters changed, but on the whole, this was just a polishing draft. The developmental stuff was just those 4,000 words I added and the way I sort of weaved it together. And then the last act of the book, as I talked about in this vlog, had the most significant changes. The last 2 chapters were a lot of writing, but I feel really good. When I reread them, they felt like what they needed to be. They felt better than the previous final 2 chapters. So I feel happy and successful, and I'm gonna send it off now before I second guess myself, and we'll see what my agent says when she gets a chance to read it. Thank you so much for watching this vlog. It was fun to have the accountability and to share my process, and I hope it was fun for you to watch. As always, I have links in the description for various causes that you should support that I would really encourage you to check out, and please share and do what you can to help those causes. And you know, subscribe, like the video if you liked it, all that stuff. And thank you so very much for watching, and I look forward to chatting with y'all in the comments.